Starting lineups, once again, a big shout out to all the folks with Cherokee Chrysler on board with us as we get set for game number 2 of this year's tip-off tourney. Early on, but he is out there starting and ready to rock and roll, and looking good as he's joined again by Holden, Roop, Clay Wigington, Travis Huffman, and Trent Rosati. And we are underway with the Dragons controlling the opening tip. That was Clay Wigington jumping there mid-court to win that one. Dave Garner alongside Randy Gambrell and the rest of the Game Time crew here, along with all the folks from Piedmont Mountainside, Ashlyn Reese, of course, and Emily McClure doing the check presentations, handling a lot of that stuff here, of course, representing Piedmont Mountainside Hospital tonight. And, of course, our very own Jason Smith, Vice President of Business Development in the house with us here. And, of course, we will be joined by another VP and Frankie Rigdon a little bit later on to talk about some exciting things going on at ETC. And here we go, Shannon Brooks with a steal right here on the other end, trying to turn it into points. We'll draw a little bit of contact right there from the Rebels. It looks like that's number 11 right there, Kai Russell, who picks up his first. Well, Randy, again, your old stomping grounds, if you will, of Fannin County, but you've done a great job, of course, calling all of our local area teams. Never showing favoritism, always very professional. That's what we like about you, and in addition to your colorful personality and your Hawaiian shirts. So, looking at this matchup right here, it's going to be real interesting to see what both these teams bring to the table as we get our first look at them here in 2014.
Yeah, you mentioned the football player there, Brooks, and both teams, of course, Gilmer and Pickens, and as you mentioned earlier, Basin, into the state playoffs, and good football seasons for all three of those schools. Fannin trying to find their identity, new coach, but changing over from the cleats and the football legs to basketball shape. It'll be interesting to see how some of these guys who have been on the football field just recently, incorporate themselves into their squads.
It is a different kind of shape, and that's one thing that we typically talk to the guys about a lot, in the opening. And Coach Brad Steinhauer saw something he didn't like right there. He went ahead and burned a quick timeout and waved his guys over frantically and said, wait a minute, what are we doing here, guys? So there was obviously something they did not do here inside the first minute that really struck a chord with Coach Steinhauer, who's now been at Pickens for several years, has had a lot of success. These guys, of course, have tasted the state playoffs a couple times, and a little quick adjustment right there.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
You don't see that very early on, but not happy at all with that. The guys looked a little confused out there, not running what he wanted to see them run, and so let's get the ship straightened out to start with. Coach
Scott Eggleston, meanwhile, has been with the Rebel program for a while, has had to work with a lot of younger players, but he's finally starting to get a group of solid upperclassmen coming through here. Hunter O'Neill, Brandon Jordan, of course, in the starting lineup, along with Sam Kay. Those guys are all upperclassmen. Will Holloway, certainly a guy that is going to be fun to watch this year, and really a guy that they expect to step up and lead along with Kai Russell. Shannon Brooks from outside, three-point shot, and that's there. And Brooks has the first 4 for the Dragons in this one after that free throw made just a moment ago. And it's a good start for the Dragon boys.
Yeah, they're taking up where the girls left off with the three-point shots on the outside there, and looked like Coach Steinhauer got his point across when he called that early timeout. They adjusted on the outside there. It looked like they were keeping it out on the perimeter and looking for that three-point shot.
There's 2 right there for Brandon Jordan. Nice-looking rotation on that one right there, and the Rebels are on the board. The Pickens girls, and not to harp on that one too much because our focus is on the boys' game now, but the Dragonets never led that game, which is hard to believe the way it was. They had it tied, though, with just a few seconds left, and, of course, Fannin hit the three-point shot to win it. And here's Shannon Brooks, 2 for 2 now, basically, from three-point range. And he's got the first 7 for the Dragons, and, boy, that's a heck of a start, 1:10 into this thing.
He's not had much trouble getting those shoulder pads off, and the helmet got a clear view, and, knocked a free throw down and popped a couple of threes early on.
That shot is there. Nice job right there for Andrew Ladd. The 6'3 junior has his first bucket. We're actually 2 minutes and 10 seconds in when Brooks hit that one, but 7-4, though, and the Rebels have stayed right there with him.
Yeah, Andrew's mom's a math teacher at Fannin County High School, and then, of course, Dad's the golf superintendent, takes care of Butternut Creek Golf Course. Enjoy playing over there, so rooting him on to keep the course in good shape. And there's a 3 by Roop.
Yep, talk about rooting. How about Holden Roop? Rooting for Roop, boy. Yeah, absolutely, boy. He hit that three-point shot there, so basically all the Dragons' points except for the one made free throw by Shannon Brooks early on have all come via the tray, and 10-4 advantage here early. I'll tell you what, I'm really expecting this Fannin Rebel team, though, to make big strides this year and kind of take that next step. You talked about it, Randy. I mean, they've struggled the last few seasons. See the Dragon foul, they're committed. Foul going to be on Brooks, but I think this team, when you look at the makeup, and obviously still some younger players, certainly, but certainly a team that you got to feel like is going to be competitive and certainly going to be in some ball games and win a few.
Right. Seven seniors, kind of the contrary to what we talked about in the girls' game with all the young girls, but 7 seniors for Coach Egg there. And, they've had some rough times the last 3 or 4 years, but they've played together. And, of course, we've mentioned McPeak moving in right off of the football field like we talked about with Brooks. But, if the chemistry comes together, they can make some noise in their region, AAA region.
Wigington picked up the personal there. That's 2 now for the Dragons here in this first quarter. 4:28 to play. Still a 10-4 advantage. Coach Eggleston going to the bench here. We'll send in Logan Holt, number 13, into the lineup for Fannin. And that 3-point shot there by Jordan off the mark. And the rebound taken down by Rosati. Back on the other end, they're going to wave that one off. Traveling going to be called anyway on Huffman.
A good outlet pass there, and got to stay under control there.
A little bit different complexion in this game than what we saw in the first game where you had so many freshmen and sophomores. There's only one freshman dressed out between these two teams, and that's Blake Gorth of Pickens. But other than that, it's pretty much, junior, senior, laden type teams. A few sophomores certainly in there. Huffman, of course, for Pickens is a sophomore in the starting lineup there, and you've got a couple more dressed out, but certainly a lot more upperclassmen in this matchup, and we kind of expect to see that senior leadership show through.
Yeah, these guys not their first rodeo. Been around before, and as we mentioned, got the cleats and the shoulder pads off. Little round ball. This ball, when you throw it, it bounces straight. You don't have to worry about the spiral and top spin and all that. It's good. Looking for good things out of both squads this year. Coach Steinhauer again mentioning he feels like he's got 5 out there he can go to on any given night. You're going to have to defend all of his players as opposed to any kind of one offensively person to go to. Let's see McPeak there, first time in the game, and good pass.
Now we talked about Shannon Brooks, of course, being a big-time recruit head to the next level. Cody McPeak, we saw, of course, earlier in the year excel for the Fannin County Rebels, and Coach Jim Pavo in his first year as head coach. These Rebels just narrowly missed the playoffs, came down to the last game. Fell a little bit short themselves, but McPeak, one of those seniors, certainly appears headed to the next level for some Saturday football as well. The 6'4", 320-pounder in there, wearing number 34. Typically, number 0 on some rosters, but the Rebels have had some number changes here. Some of the uniforms I think that they were going to wear have not come in yet. So there's a shoulder there. It looked like Walker Lawrence. Speaking of football, he's one of those guys fresh off the football field, and nice little shoulder tackle there.
Yeah, get out of my way. I want that. I want the rock, man. Give it to me. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, and that's a good, we talk about football shape. But obviously, fresh off the football field, you have that mentality. And so when these guys do come out on the basketball court, basketball is certainly a physical sport in itself, but it's a different kind of physicality.
Right.
Sometimes that's also a transition, is the physical part of it as well as being in shape as well.
It doesn't take too many knocks, though, to realize you don't have any pads there and helmet to help you out.
Exactly.
You may think twice the next time.
Lawrence hands off to Roop here, the 5'11 junior. We're back at it here. It's 10-5 with 3 minutes to play here in the opening quarter.
Like Fannin opening up man-to-man. Hit those first few, Pickens hit those first few threes. You can see them extending out a little bit. Gonna try to prevent that from happening.
Ladd with 3 points here in the first quarter for Fannin. The other 2 from Brandon Jordan. Meanwhile, Pickens again with 7 from Shannon Brooks. And here's Brooks off the inbound, lays it up, and we'll head to the line. Just missed a chance at a 3-point play. But he'll shoot a pair.
Foul there on Ladd, but good control there by Brooks. There you go, right there. You see, draw the contact and able to get up high enough to double pump there. Couldn't get it to go, and then misses the first free throw. And kind of some similarities to the girls' game. You know, missed some early free throws early on, and we'll see how this plays out a little bit later in the ball game as Brooks knocks the second one down for him.
He's got 8 points here. Yep, 8 points in the early going for the 6-foot senior. 11-5 the advantage for the Dragons. Coming up later on tonight, of course, Gilmer and Copper Basin. First the girls' game, then the boys' game. And, you know, in that boys' game, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens because obviously Basin, you know, played football last night, so probably going to be missing a couple of their football-type guys. But Gilmer, you know, graduating, you know, 6 seniors basically off that team from last year that went to the state playoffs and fell to Fayette County, including, of course, Joe Bob Charles, who's now playing at Young Harris. And you got to wonder, you know, a lot of folks feel like Coach Heiss, you know, is going to have his work cut out for him this year. And there's 2. Walker Lawrence with his first bucket of the tournament, the 6'1 junior. Makes it 13-5. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. 2 very different teams playing later on tonight. This matchup right here also pretty intriguing as Lawrence picks up his second personal. That was Andrew Ladd again driving to the hoop.
Hey, talking about Fannin coming off just barely missing the football playoffs. Franklin got him in the last game of the season, and ironically, administrator at Jefferson right now, we ended up with Franklin in the first round, and had Fannin won that, I'd have been playing against some of my old friends from Fannin there.
Will Holloway back in for Fannin. Here you look at Andrew Ladd. Second one all the way, misses that one. 1 of 2 on that trip for Ladd, who's got 4. It's 13-6. A 7-point advantage for the Dragons with 1:37 left here in the opening quarter. Dave Garner, Randy Gambro with you. Game 2 of 4 on the night as the sun starts to set in LJ outside, but certainly a lot cozier here indoors as we transition inside from the football field to the basketball court. And just in time, temperatures have been cold, although it's pretty nice this weekend. Storms expected tomorrow, although temperatures won't dip too low. And it'll be a nice day probably to spend indoors.
That was a great day outside, driving up from Jefferson and getting into our cabin for the weekend. And good weather. May get a little rain coming in, but that'll be all right. None of the snow yet.
Not yet.
You know, early on, first few trips down, you saw Brooks hit a couple of threes. Looks like Fannin's tried to adjust and done a good job adjusting. They've limited some of the even attempts from beyond the arc. So a good adjustment by Coach Egg and his Rebels.
You don't realize, really, you know, we talked about size and you know, some of our teams we talked about in the girls' game, you know, a lot of our local area teams, they really like the big, tall, inside presence, you know, true post players. And, traveling going to be called there, and that's going to wave off a beautiful bucket from Doug Timms, the junior. But, you know, the guys, I don't know if you can really say that. I mean, obviously you have McPeak at 6'4", but you also have Trent Rosati for Pickens, who's also 6'4", and those two matched up with each other right there. Those guys, you know, you don't realize how big they are until you get down to the floor and start standing next to them. Those guys bring some height with them.
Yeah, I'd hate to have to be shooting over them, Dave. You know, you and me try to go 2-on-2 with them. I'm not sure we'd be able to get many dunks in.
That time McPeak came up empty, had an open look there. Brooks, little reverse layup. Oh, beautifully done. Just wouldn't quite go. Going to be waved off here. Foul going to be called, it looks like, on Rosati. And it will be Fannin ball with 10.8 to play here in the opening frame. 13-6, Dragons lead it.
You know, I'm not sure about some of those, Dave. I mean, you know, 2 guys go up for the basketball, you know, and almost literally side by side. And when one gets it and one doesn't and one gets a foul, I'd let them play ball. There's a big 3 for Fannin.
2014 version, November the 22nd. 2014. If you're watching on that day, you're watching live. We're sitting here right now as we speak. Dave Garner alongside Randy Gamble and the rest of our Game Time crew. And there's a nice little bucket there, and that one going to be waved off offensively. Nice little drive there to the hoop by Kai Russell, but they're going to wave off the basket. Or actually, I believe that was Will Holloway. Excuse me.
Yeah, Holloway. Good little hoop. Thought he might have stopped quick enough. Defense sometimes does a good enough acting job. You're going to get the Emmy for that.
Here's a takeaway. 2-on-2 on the other end. A little pull-up jumper right there by Holloway. Gets the roll. Holloway's first points of the tournament, and it's just a 2-point game at 13-11.
Try it one way, come back and do it again.
Dragons led it, 7-2, 7-0 maybe out of the gate there, and Fannin has come back nicely here at the start of the second quarter to make it a one-possession game.
Yeah, actually, there in the first quarter, it was Shannon Brooks 7, Fannin 0. But, Fannin's used a little inside, a couple of the athleticism they've got. Coach Egg's been looking forward to watching these folks develop over the last few years and get some drives inside, and little pull-up jumpers. Got them right back in this.
Right inside the arc there again. Rosati working, feeds off to Lawrence. Good ball movement right here by the Dragons. No shot clock again in high school basketball, so you can take as much time as you want here. Oh, good give there. But away from the ball. Foul on the Dragons to wave that bucket off as Rosati hit the deck.
Yeah, good.
So that's going to be offensive on Brooks, his second personal. So Shannon coming into this game, he'll come out now with 6:53 left here in the half. They can ill afford to get him in foul trouble because he has really been the offense for the Dragons early on.
Yeah, good patience there. As you mentioned, Pickens on the outside there, still looking for that three. Fannin, again, has adjusted their defense, trying to limit those three-point shots. But Brooks just going there a little, got to be under control.
Now the Rebels, second chance points right there, draw on the whistle. And there's going to be another personal on Rosati.
Andy Ladd working hard there. You see on the rebound, it's kind of tough for some of the bigs to go down on the floor and pick it up, but Andrew does a good job picking it up and draws the foul there, knocks the first one down.
Andrew Ladd, the 6'3 junior. Luke Smith, 6'3 sophomore, will come in for Coach Steinhauer's Dragons. Coach Steinhauer, as we mentioned earlier in the telecast during the girls' game, he's got assistants that are former Dragon players themselves, and Daniel Colberth and Bradley Bernard. And that ball gets away there.
Nobody knew it was a loose ball there. Fannin coming back to transition into defense, and Coach Egg let him know the ball was close.
Coach Eggleston, meanwhile, with help from Walter Klontz, who, of course, was with Coach Pass on the girls' side for several years, has transitioned over to the boys' side as an assistant. And also Wes Jones helping as well. There's a nice drive there for the Rebels, and that was Kai Russell, who had a nice finish on that one. He's got 5.
Yeah, ball got loose there, and Kai was just in the right place, right time. Good hustle, and picked it up and took it to the hoop there. Yeah, you talk about Coach Klontz.
There's a big bank there for Hoffman, three-point shot. I was going to say the Rebels took the lead.
The bank open.
The Dragons took it right back. Yep, 16-14. But as you were saying.
Yeah, Coach Klontz, we saw several games when I was at Fannin that Coach Klontz, especially one I remember, Coach Pass was sick with their child, and Coach Klontz ended up having to coach in the regional tournament and came back and won a game like that. State championship coach in his own right from North Carolina. So, what a great asset to have on your bench there.
Sam Davis with a big block for the Dragons. Sam, one of those guys making his TV debut here tonight, if you will, with this varsity Dragon team. And Sam's a guy, I've known him for a long time. He was a youngster going to the summer camps, as a lot of these guys did growing up, going to those Dragon basketball camps and Rebel basketball camps as youngsters, and now here they are at the varsity level. It makes me feel old. I've known him since he was a little kid.
There you go. Well, you gotta have the camps. You gotta nowadays you gotta play it almost all year round. You see so many folks summer camps, the off-season camps, and that's how you get the good experience and develop your skills and talents.
Inside 5 minutes here in this Mason Tractor second quarter. Want to say hi to all the folks with Mason Tractor Company in Blue Ridge, our second quarter sponsor here tonight. And here's a blocking foul. That one going to be called on play where?
Yeah, good play by Roop there. Had a little opening there and just kind of ducked his shoulder. And here you see him coming right into your living room. And
Ware, a 5'11 sophomore. And here's Holden Roop at the line. Rattles home the first one. Roop's got 4. He had that early three-point shot. Second one on the way. 1 of 2 on that trip. Haven't been a whole lot of 2-for-2s. And there's traveling right there, and Fannin's going to give it right back. So the Dragons with a 3-point lead, and they'll inbound from underneath their own goal here.
One of those where you get the rebound and you start to give it off to your teammate, and all of a sudden they're not there. And what do you do with it? You kind of get caught in no man's land there. Just a little miscommunication, and kind of expect that early on.
Luke Smith, number 31, the 6'3 sophomore, committing the foul. They're away from the ball for the Dragons, so Fannin will have it. And the turnover ends up not hurting as they get the ball back. 17-14, good game, though. A 3-point game with about 4.5 to play here in the first half. 3-point shot on the way. That one is off the mark from where it would not go. Rebound Dragons.
Yeah, Luke Smith up high with a rebound there. Heads and tails above everybody for that one. Good rebound.
Roop inside, draws contact, and he'll go to the line again. That foul again going to be on Ware. So Ware's picked up a second personal. Now both teams shooting. Both in the bonus here the rest of the way. No one in double bonus yet. 18 fouls on Pickens, 7 on the Rebels. And Roop knocks down the first of 2 as he did the last trip. Hunter O'Neill will step in for Fannin along with Logan Holt. Hunter O'Neill's a 6'4 senior. Coach Eggleston, of course, coaching all over the place. Coached in Iowa. Obviously, basketball as Roop knocks down a pair there. He's got 6 here in the first half, 5-point lead. There's basketball big time up there in the Indiana and, Iowa and all the Midwest up there.
I think Coach Eggleston must drive a U-Haul just as his personal vehicle. I mean, he's, all the places he's been. I talked to him earlier in the week, North Dakota, Northern Kentucky, South Dakota State, Southern Illinois. I mean, he's just been around, but loves the game of basketball. And as we've mentioned, excited about the Fannin team. Rough times for a few years, but maybe they can get some chemistry going this year, make a little noise in their region.
Nice little shot there by Holden Roop, who was taken over. And notice the Dragons are doing all this with Shannon Brooks on the bench. He picked up those 2 quick personals, and so trying to keep him from getting into any more foul trouble. And as long as they can maintain a lead here, you got to think they'll try to save him for the second half as much as possible. And Holden Roop has really stepped up in his absence.
Right, Brooks in the first quarter, Roop in the second quarter, carrying the Dragons.
21-14. Dragons up a touchdown here over the Rebels early on. 3:20 left here in the first half.
No missed extra points.
Off the dribble again, Brandon Jordan.
A good steal there by Roop.
Oh, nice look by Roop. And in and out right there, just wouldn't go for Smith. And now the Rebels back and running. Kicks it over. Russell swings it out.
Fannin just having a hard time finding some continuity on offense. Pick up a bucket or 2 here or there, lay out a couple of points early on, but just having a little trouble finding their rhythm right now.
3-point shot on the way from Russell. That one rattles out of there, though. And the putback, it wouldn't go. Open look right there for Sam Kay, but he just couldn't finish it. Tough break for the Rebels, and now on the other end, Dragons, Walker Lawrence leans in. Tough shot off the glass, wouldn't go. Rebound, Russell. And both teams exchange and come up short, 21-14 with 2:12 to play in the first half.
See some of these guys taking some deep breaths here late into this second quarter, getting the basketball legs under them, a little tired. And
that's an offensive foul. We've already seen a few of those here in the first half of this one.
A good defense there by Lawrence, stepping in, standing still, taking the charge, and creating the turnover.
That last foul on Logan Holt. His first 18 fouls apiece here now. Both teams with 1 more basically to give before the double bonus, but inside 2 minutes here. Been a pretty clean first half, though, from Gilmer High tonight as Fannin and Pickens go at it on Gilmer's floor. And a steal and points from Huffman. Travis Huffman with the bucket. He's got 5 here in the first half.
And
that extends the lead out to 9.
Yeah, good scrappy defense there by Huffman, and got the steal, took it up with the left hand in a little traffic.
Minute and a half remaining. Will Holloway just going to float one up there, but it rattles away. Doug Timms, rebound, knocked away, and it's going to be Fannin basketball, goes off the head of Huffman there, and so Rebel ball, and Coach Steinhauer.
Nah.
Yep, talking to his kids. Yep.
Steinhauer telling Mr. Official there, I think you missed that one. Yeah, Pickens playing some good defense, extending their defense. You don't see too many three-point attempts for Fannin, but good job to the Pickens defense. And again, Fannin just having a little hard time finding themselves on the offensive end. Got to get some easy looks here somehow. Drive in, dish it off, set some screens outside, get the pass inside, and come back out to a three-pointer. Just looking for some offense here.
Well, they missed the free throw after Huffman picked up his first personal, but they get the ball back. Oh, there's Roop, who picks the pocket. Going to lay it up. Oh, and then the block, but they're going to say that they got him with the body there. Brandon Jordan going to commit the personal. That's not a bad foul, though. You keep from scoring the easy layup there. So now both teams with 9 team fouls, but they're running out of time to hit the double bonus here, but Roop will be shooting a pair here.
I think Jordan, watching his reaction there, thought he got all ball there, but somehow his vote doesn't count on that one, Dave.
Roop knocking down his 9th point of the first half here. It's a 10-point lead for the Dragons.
Yeah. Roop's been money at the line here in the second quarter. As we mentioned, Brooks first quarter, Roop second quarter.
Holden Roop, the first player tonight to reach double figures in this one. He's got 10. Shannon Brooks, again, has sat a lot of this first half due to the 2 personal fouls he picked up early on here. He went out with 8 points and looked like he was going to be the lead scorer in this game. But those fouls will do it to you. But the good thing is they haven't really had to rely on his offense much because of Roop's play here in this first half and the Rebels' inability to really get the rhythm going here. And although they'll bang one home there, well, Holloway knocks another one down. He's got 4. A 9-point game. So we'll start fresh in the second half.
Pickens, as you mentioned, not having to have Brooks on the floor. The kind of nice little luxury here. Roop stepping up, and we'll certainly see more of him in the second half. And, of course, Coach Steinhauer's pleased to see his folks pick up the slack when Brooks went out.
2 seconds left. Shot going to be short. And that's how the first half ends. 25-16 in favor of the Dragons, who lead it by 9 over the Rebels here at the break. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back. Stay with us.
18, Fannin 16, and then a couple of more contributors from Pickens. But, yeah, as we talked about, Fannin just could not find any consistency offensively. Couldn't get any good looks from 3. Had a couple of drives inside, got some charging fouls called against him. So just Coach Egg's in the look for some consistency here on the offensive end out of his Rebels.
First shot out of the gate. That one misses there. The Rebels again opening the half with the possession. And the basketball, and they're going to get the foul there inside on Sam Kay, it looks like. Number 30, that'll be his first personal. Both teams left the first half with 9 team fouls, so neither team hit the double bonus like they did in that girls' game. Roop at the line with a rare miss. Holden Roop led all scorers in that first half with 10. First player to reach double figures. Trying to make it a 10-point ball game right here, and does so with the second of 2 free throws. He's got 11 on the night. 26-16 here as we welcome all the folks from Subway and Singleton Food Services, our third quarter sponsor here tonight. Again, a big shout out to Ed Singleton and all of his folks from Subway. Third quarter sponsor here as part of our tip-off tourney. Nice drive there by Holloway, just unable to finish as the Rebels move left to right again across your screen here. And there are the visitors on the board here tonight in their road black. Meanwhile, Pickens in the home white is the home team on the scoreboard here.
It's going to be interesting this second half. Again, both coaches early season. It is a tournament. Sure, you want to win it, but not afraid to throw some different looks out offensively and defensively. I'm just sitting here wondering if Coach Eggleston's not going to maybe try a little press and a little up tempo maybe to maybe spark his offense, go and create a few turnovers or so. Offense just struggling, only 16 points here in the first half.
Rebels again needing some offense. Need a couple of possessions here, I think probably early in the second half, if nothing else, to establish a little bit of momentum, some confidence here. That's going to be 3 on Brooks. So Shannon again started this second half in the game, but picks up another quick personal there. And so he's already got 3. And, again, as we talked about, it's that, all these guys, some of these guys, football mentality, they're still on the football field right now and maybe a little over-aggressive, their approach.
Right, man. Look at the calves on Brooks right there, man. Tell you what, you talk about the running back and the yardage he gained this year, man. You can certainly see why. Good-looking young athlete.
Committed to the University of Minnesota. And here's the second one on the way for Russell. 2 of 2 on that trip. He's got 7 on the night. That puts it back to an 8-point game at 26-18.
Brooks will find out what cold weather and a little snow's like when he gets up there. Late season football games there.
I was going to say, here's the takeaway. Fannin almost taken right back, and then here we go. High off the glass there, just wouldn't go for Andrew Ladd. And now a whistle there, and that one going to be on Rosati. I believe that's going to be his 3rd.
Yeah. I think Coach Klontz called that one there. It was a good call. Traded in his coaching shirt for a referee shirt for a few minutes there, and helped his squad get that call there.
And a 3-point shot from the corner. Holloway shot off the mark, would not go. And a quick outlet right there down to the Rosati. Rosati's got to be careful again playing with those 3 personals. Lost the handle on that one as it rolls out of bounds in front of Brandon Jordan.
You just kind of wonder, Fannin just again, we not to beat a dead horse to death, but, they just can't get anything going offensively. And you get one of these threes to fall, get a couple of quick baskets, maybe get some offense created off of some defensive pressure. I'm sure Coach Eggleston will get with them. And
clock issues here. They're going to run some time off the clock there. Down to 5:59.
Clock operator in preseason form, too.
We're all getting our legs under us here early on.
Mm-hmm.
Foul there on Smith. Now the Dragons need to be careful here that they don't start getting into foul trouble. They've got 2 with 3 and a couple more guys with a pair. And off the inbound route here. Holloway with 4 first half points. They would certainly like to get him a little more involved there. The 6'1" senior. Here's a 3-point shot. That one just misses the mark there out of the hand of Jordan. And so it remains 26-18.
Good ball movement, though, there. Had a drive inside, had a teammate open out beyond the 3 there. He got covered up quickly and left another one open. So good ball movement there. Just got to get the ball to drop.
Timms will have that one taken away. On the other end right here, going to lay it up with the left hand. It wouldn't quite go. Last touch, though, by Fannin. Andrew Ladd just couldn't quite finish that one. Had another opportunity at it, but it was knocked away. Went off of Ladd, so it's Dragon ball with 5:10 to go here in this Subway third quarter.
It's good defense there by Pickens. Ladd had the early lead down the floor there, and Pickens catches up and didn't block the shot, but made him altered enough to where couldn't get it to fall. So
that was potentially dangerous right there.
Yeah. Jordan got to give him enough room there. Go up and get it there. Got up under him while he was in the air there. So, good call.
2 team fouls on Fannin here early. Dragons with 3. 4:51 left. That one rolls out of bounds in favor of Fannin. Rebel basketball still trailing by 8. We've hit a little bit of a lull here. Again, 25-16 at the break, and not much has happened since then. The Dragons with just 1 point. They're off a free throw, and 1 bucket or 2 free throws from Kyle Russell. So we're still looking for our first field goal of the second half for either team. I didn't realize that until I got to looking down at the score box.
Whopping 3 points here halfway through the third quarter. Fannin guards have been able to penetrate, get that first step on the Pickens guards, but get inside, just can't hit the bucket and can't pass off.
Oh, and a +1 for Clay Wigington. It looked like he's going to try to throw it down right there. Got the contact, though. Was able to get the lay-in, a chance for a three-point play. Nicely done. That was a great look. And Wigington had an open lane. His first points of the night.
Yeah, good backdoor play there. Way out front here beyond the three-point line, and was able to get his defensive player on his heels and took off for the hoop. Good assist there. Good three-point play. Back to a 9-point lead for the Dragons, and looking for more here.
On the other end, a little lay-in right there. Nicely done by Sam Davis. That's his first points of the tournament. And he becomes the 6th different Dragons scorer. So Coach Steinhauer wanting to get some other guys involved in this game and not just make it a one or two trick and pony show. And a couple other guys getting in the book there widens the gap 31-18. With 3:44 to play here in this third quarter.
Right, you talked about the lack of scoring, and boom, there's 5 quick ones by Pickens. Put them up by 13 here.
Meanwhile, the Rebels still looking for their first field goal of the second half. A pair of Kai Russell free throws, the only offense so far here in the third quarter. Is a nice looking lay-in by Luke Smith from Davis. How about that? A quick timeout on the floor called by Coach Eggleston and the Fannin County Rebels. It's a full 60-second timeout with 3:26 to play in the third period. And the Dragon boys are starting to roll here now, 33-18. And this last couple of minutes have certainly been productive for Coach Steinhauer's boys.
Right, yeah, they've come out of the gate a little slow, both squads in the second half. But last minute here, Pickens really picked it up. Coach Eggleston putting McPeak in on the inside there to try to clog that up. A couple of quick, easy baskets inside by Pickens, and so he's going to try to put the big guy in to stop a little of that. Also, he's got Ladd out with those long arms, trying to maybe extend the defense out on the when Pickens gets into their half-court offense. Again, trying to create some turnovers there, get you a couple of easy baskets, lay-ins off the turnovers, and then try to create some offense there.
Good crowd on hand here tonight.
We talked about the hard times Fannin's had the previous 3 years with Coach Eggleston, and the chemistry feels like these guys, if they can get it going this year, can make some noise in their region. And I noticed as he was leaving the floor at the end of the first half, a little disappointment in his face, and then kind of indicates to me, he was expecting much more out of his Rebels in the first half. So. Good coach, well seasoned, and he'll get the most out of his Rebels this year.
Double dribble there on Holloway, goes back the other way. We talked a little bit about Gilmer, obviously the 3-time defending champs, if you will, of this tournament, and you gotta think the goal for both of these teams here is to be that team that finally unseats the Bobcats there somewhat, and so who's it going to be? I guess is the question. And there's 3 for Travis Huffman. His first points of the second half, he's got 8 altogether. And it's an 18-point lead now for the Dragons, who have opened things up here, 36-18.
Yeah, they have. Didn't realize that Gilmer had won it. Good look there by McPeak. Basket there by Holt. Didn't realize Gilmer had won it for the last 3 years. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. These other 3 schools get tired of seeing that and say, hey, I want a little piece of the trophy this year.
30-second timeout by the Dragons here as Clay Wigington gets another bucket. He's got some ups, man. He looks like he's about to throw one down every time he goes up there, and he got the lay in there in traffic. 38-20. So the Rebels do finally get their first field goal of the second half from Logan Holt on the other end from a look there from the big Cody McPeak. That was their first field goal of the second half to go along with those 2 earlier free throws. But the Dragons have opened things up. Travis Huffman with a tray. Sam Davis, Luke Smith, each with buckets. Clay Wigington with 5 points. Holden Roop with a free throw in there as well. And so they have really opened it up here. Again, they've 13-4. They have outscored the Rebels here so far in this third quarter. 2.5 minutes to play here in the Subway Singleton Food Services third period. Touch pass there. Good defense, though, by the Dragons. Sam Davis was all over that one.
Well, you mentioned early on the play of Brooks, coming off the football field and now onto the court, and his contribution early in the first quarter. And essentially that's all we've seen out of him. He came in, got his third foul quickly in the second half here. But the good news is for Coach Steinhauer, as he talked about, you're going to have to stop all 5 of my guys this year. And the other ones have picked up the slack, got 6 men off the bench, picked it up, and playing well offensively.
3-point shot from the corner. That one's too long there, and a good board by Davis. Dragons again leaded by 18 inside 2 minutes here this third period. Dave Garner, Randy Gamble. Oh, that pass is kind of away there. It looked like Huffman, I think he thought that there was another teammate closer to this sideline, so it looked like he kind of let that ball go through.
Miscommunication, that's going to happen.
Well, when in doubt, make the grab, I guess. You can always
pass it.
Yep. Good double team there. McPeak using that big body, swings it back out. Good ball movement by the Rebels. Three-point shot. If it goes, it doesn't. Ball loose. The follows there. That's a nice putback for Andrew Ladd. He's got 7. Been impressed with the 6'3 junior tonight. He equals his teammate Kai Russell for the team lead there, each with 7. 38-22.
Tell you again, I like what Coach Eggleston's doing here, putting Ladd out front there. Big, long arms, 6'3", makes those guards. It makes it tough for them to pass around that.
3-point shot from way out there. They're going to wave it off, though. And a whistle away from the ball. 3-second call there, maybe.
Did he call 3 or did he call him walking out of it when he didn't even put the ball on the floor?
Yep. Huffman will come out. Doug Timms will come back in. Timms, Davis, Smith in the lineup along with Lawrence.
Good defense by Timms there. Comes in, makes his presence known. And
the 5th one is Roop. Holden Roop again with 11 points. Leads all scorers here. Dragons lead at 38-22 with 38 seconds left here in the third quarter. There's 2 more for Luke Smith. Rebels, meanwhile, they've got McPeak on the floor along with Russell. Logan Holt, Jordan, and Ladd. 5 in black for the Rebels. McPeak inside, swings it back out. 3-point shot on the way. That one's short from Jordan. And a whistle and some pushing and shoving going on. That's going to be the 3rd one on Brandon Jordan. So it'll be Dragon ball here for the final 10 seconds of this third period. Oh, inside look right here. Lawrence lays it up. Shot would not go. Battle for the loose ball. 2 seconds. And they're going to get stuck out of here again. Ronnie Thompson forward in LJ. Dave Gardner alongside Randy Gambrell. And the rest of your game time crew here for the 2014 ETC Piedmont Mountainside tip-off tourney. As the Dragons open the 4th quarter with the basketball and an 18-point lead, 40-22 over the Rebels. And Shannon Brooks back in the lineup after those 3 personals. It's called for traveling, and that's how the 4th quarter gets underway. Randy, again, the Dragons using a big third quarter there as they basically outscored Fannin by a tally of 15-8. Or actually 15-6. They outscored them in that third period to jump ahead by 18.
No need to do the math there. I'd say.
Math was never my strong suit, that's for sure.
Yeah. But, I like defensively what Fannin's come out. Again, I've been mentioning Ladd being out front here and almost created a turnover early. Just couldn't take it back down and create points on the transition back to the offense.
It's been an entertaining game. Cody McPeak picking up his second. And you and I were talking during the break there, and not exactly sure where McPeak is committed yet, if at all. I know he's obviously was considered a 3-star football recruit, so it'll be interesting to see where that young man ends up. I know he's got a couple different folks looking at him there, and once we learn that, we'll try to help our viewers out, let them know what's going on there.
You can tell he's just he's not been on the basketball floor too long, but I like the way the young man takes the pass in and looks for somebody to dish it off to. You wonder, I haven't really seen him go to the hoop with it yet. Maybe too early. Got to dribble it a few times in practice before he does that. But really, really good eyes, head swivels, and looking for the open man and trying to dish it back out and get an open three for one of his teammates.
Andrew Ladd unable to hit the first there. Luke Smith, of course, hitting 2 for 2 just a moment ago on the other end for the Dragons. Or 1 of 2 there, I guess I should say. 41-22. Here is Roop. Oh, great dish right there inside. Wow. And Smith with the finish. So Luke Smith with 7 makes it a 43-22 ball game. Dragons up 21 inside 7 minutes to go. Pickens very much in control right now. Fannin, really hasn't played a bad game. McPeak, little confusion there, miscommunication. Player cutting towards the hoop there, Roop. That one in and out. Rebound by Ladd. They just haven't been able to offensively get anything going much. Haven't necessarily been a lot of turnovers or sloppy play by any means. It's just shots just have not been falling for Coach Eggleston's team tonight.
Yeah, they've had some shots. I mean, again, McPeak taking the entry pass in and finding some guys open out at the three-point arc, and they've had some good looks at it. Just can't get anything to go, and just a little momentum. You make one, then you feel like you can make the next one, but of course, the coaches will consistently tell their players, you're not going to score if you don't shoot, so you got to keep shooting.
Davis trying to save that one. Foot, though, on the line, unable to do so. And we'll go back to Fannin. 6:17 to play. Well, Randy, like I said, glad you're with us here for the 3 days of this tourney, and I hope you enjoy your weekend, and then we'll get back to work on Monday. And, looking forward to it. Obviously, we've got another big slate of games. Of course, tonight, still Gilmer and Copper Basin to go. But then on Monday, Pickens Basin early, Fannin Gilmer late. And, ought to be interested to see how the boys play. I'm really, really curious to see the new look Gilmer Bobcat boys. Obviously because of all the graduation they had, a team that went to the state tournament the last couple of years. And you got to wonder now with such a young, smaller team, how these guys are going to look. And a lot of anticipation there, of course. And, of course, Copper Basin, and we know about their football and everything. And then on the girls' side, of course, the game following this one here tonight, the Gilmer Lady Cats are a team expected to make some noise this year under Kim Charles. They've got a good nucleus of players back. And, Copper Basin's girls, Coach Amy Green is starting to try to get the consistency back with the girls there a little bit that we saw under Coach Amy McGowan, for so many years. And so that ought to be a pretty interesting matchup as well here coming up immediately following this one.
Absolutely. Great pre-Thanksgiving meal of basketball, if you will, and, 4 great games today. First one, you can't get any closer than that. This one, score-wise, doesn't really indicate, I think, how the game's been played. As we've mentioned, Fannin just can't get it to go offensively. But, yeah, two more games tonight, man. Come back Monday for 4 and close it out Tuesday. Certainly grateful to the folks here at Gilmer for hosting the tournament this year.
Absolutely. It's been a consistent rotation between Fannin and Gilmer over the years, the 2 teams that originally started the tournament. Of course, Pickens and Basing joining several years ago, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been doing this thing for a while now, and there's a +1, and count it for Sam Kay. Kay's first points of the night, a chance for a 3-point play.
Staying on the offensive board there, you see him putting it back up with the left hand and maintaining good rebounding positioning. And, gosh, we talk about it a lot of times. Rebounding is just a matter of wanting to. You got to make yourself get into position. You got to want to bad enough.
And you see another discussion over here at the scorer's table.
Horn going off, and scorekeepers want to know who the foul was on a minute ago.
It's going to be the fourth on Trent Rosati is what it looked like. And inside, that's going to be a foul there on Jordan.
Is that on Jordan?
I believe that's going to be 4 on him. My numbers are right. 5:08 left in this one. Dragons still up 21. Fannin has just been unable to cut into that lead as we take another look here at that last sequence. You know, the Dragons coming into this season, you know, obviously graduating a good group of seniors from last year. And there's a +1 there for Shannon Brooks. So Brooks, you know, came out of the gate, scored 7 or 8 quick. Hadn't scored since until right then, but he is in double figures. He needed one more to get in there, and he did. So he's at 10 with a chance for 11 right here.
Yeah, good strong play there. You see the strength on that young man. Got the pass there and had a lot of contact and was able to hang on to it and get the deuce up there.
And it looks like there's going to be another foul on Fannin here. That foul going to be on Andrew Ladd.
Well, this ball game got away from Fannin about halfway through the third quarter. You mentioned that nobody was scoring early in the third quarter, and then boom, all of a sudden, you know, things just started falling for Pickens, and got some threes, got some deuces, got some turnovers, and we're able to create some points. And again, you know, Fannin's got good looks most of the night, inside and out. Just been the proverbial lid on it.
Second one on the way, and it's good. Wigington with 7. So 48-23, the score here with 5 minutes left in the contest, and that one is in there for Kay. So Kay knocks another one down there, 48-25. 4:40 left here, and on the other end, it's kind of watching these guys play it out right here.
This is some good ball movement. Folks without the basketball for Pickens moving, creating picks, and trying to do some backdoor cutting, some good movement. They probably got a little more activity on the offensive end than Fannin, and that may be why, you know, they've scored as much as they have versus Fannin.
Wigington missing on that one there. Clay's played pretty well tonight. The 6'2 senior, again, with 7 points. Showing some ups here in this ball game a couple of times. Knocks down that one there. 8 points tonight for Clay Wigington, 49-25. They get advantage for the Dragons. They're up 23 with 4.5 to play here in this Ronnie Thompson Ford fourth quarter. In between games, of course, we will give way to our next team, if you will, right here. Caleb Frady, Sid Pulliam will have the call of the Gilmer Copper Basin games, starting, of course, with the girls matchup. Boys, of course, to follow. And then, of course, we'll break for Sunday, and then we'll come back on Monday ready to rock and roll with 4 more games as Pickens and Basin play and Gilmer and Fannin play. Day 2 of the tournament. 3-point shot on the way. That one in and out for Clay Ware. He thought he had 3.
That's kind of been the epitome of Fannin's offense today. Some good looks, and just can't get it to go down.
Ball bouncing around in there a little bit as we hit the 4-minute mark. Nice little drive right there and a nice finish by Brandon Jordan.
Jordan all the way.
Yep, been very active, just 5 points here. But you know that this is a Rebel team that I think certainly capable of doing some good things this year. And Coach Steinhauer will burn a timeout with 3:45 to play, and might see some different guys get a little bit of action right here.
A little trouble getting the ball in there, and good coaching by Coach Steinhauer. Calls a timeout, saved the turnover, and as you mentioned, may see some other folks in. But we talked early on about the having to stop all 5 of his players, not necessarily having a go-to player, and I think we've seen that tonight. You got Brooks with about 10 points, Roop 11, Wigington, Huffman with 8 each, and Smith. So you got 5 consistent players there. Who do you stop? So Coach Steinhauer's evaluation of his team early on, I think, has come to fruition here tonight. Pretty balanced scoring by the Dragons.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how this team does this year. Obviously, question marks this early in the season, really for all of our teams considering the graduation losses they've had. And, of course, obviously, Brooks, coming right off the football field along with, Walker Lawrence, Rosati, a couple of these guys. Zach Herman, who we haven't seen tonight, is on the bench there for the Dragons.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. Pickens and Gilmer have been Quad A the last couple of years, or did they just move up on the 4A this past
they've been
year?
At the last couple. Yeah.
Have they? Okay.
There.
Okay.
Yep.
Looking at the different region alignments that Pickens and Gilmer, of course, they're in the same region together, and then Fannin AAA.
Wigington, he's in double figures with 10. 3 different Dragons in double figures here tonight. Lead at 51-27, and they're starting to pull away here for good. Yeah, it'll be interesting, when you look at the regions, Fannin obviously in their 7 AAA region, seeing who they've got. Obviously West Hall, East Hall, certainly, those teams in there. Of course, Franklin County, and then some of the familiar faces in Dawson and Lumpkin.
Yeah, Coach Egg thinks East Hall, Banks be the
Banks, yep.
Be the ones to beat there in Region 7 there, and probably right there. East Hall's always competitive. And
meanwhile, the 7 4A, if you will, with Cartersville, obviously, you've got them in there, but you've got Gilmer, Pickens, Ridgeland, Southeast Whitfield, Northwest Whitfield. Oh, great backdoor cut. Holden Roop with 13. Roop with a great cut there and a great look by the Dragons.
Yeah, when you extend the defense out like Fannin's doing there and playing that pressure man, you got to be aware of the back door, and you got to get good peripheral vision. You got to use when the ball's not on your side of the floor and be able to come over and help out on help defense.
Been a lot of fun here tonight, certainly. I've enjoyed working with you, and of course we're all going to kind of rotate around, get a chance to work with each other over the 3 days there, but what a way to start this tournament. Brandon Jordan lays one in there. He's got 7, but you wanted to open it up with me, and I'm glad we were able to do that. So, it's a nice little reunion there to be working with you.
You bet, absolutely. Always have a good time working beside you.
Maybe a little grayer than you were 4 years ago last time we worked together. But,
wait a minute. Well, I spray paint.
There we go.
Man. Come on.
Hey, I don't have any room to talk. I don't have any room to talk.
Well, hey, I'm just glad there's some still on top also.
Well,
it's getting thin, but
mine's starting to crawl away from my face a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Mom and Dad said tell you hello. They remember the years that we were calling together, and enjoyed watching you call ball games, and so they keep up with you.
Had a lot of great adventures, a lot of great times there, certainly. There's a 3-point shot there for Clay Ware. Finally got one to go. The 5'11 sophomore knocks down his first bucket of the night and becomes the 7th different Rebel to etch his name into the scorebook here with 1:57 left. 53-32. This Ronnie Thompson forward, 4th quarter. All of our sponsors, we certainly appreciate them being on with us this year. Of course, we couldn't make it happen without them. You are dedicated and loyal viewers and ETC customers. And there's another 3-point shot. All of a sudden, Clay Ware, he's found his spot on the floor there. He's got 6. Back-to-back trays, 53-35.
That's what they've been looking for all night, as we've talked about. Just could not get them to fall early on, and but they'll fall throughout the year. You keep shooting. Like you say, you can't score if you don't keep shooting. And, my dad and I laughed about basketball times before. He took his coach serious when coach told him that, So Dad said, heck, I'll shoot it. But, the good shooters understand that you're going to go through some spells, and, they're not all going to go, and you keep firing it.
Tim's at the free throw line here. Daniel Lang has made his way into the lineup there, the 5'9 senior. Lang, another one of those guys making the transition off the football field this year. It's a big year for the Rebel football team as Doug Timms goes 1 of 2. Becomes the 8th different Dragon to score tonight. A minute and a half to go. Now, Randy, I stuck you with Dell Land on Monday night. Dell, of course, not with us today. He was be with us on Monday, and guys should have a pretty good set of games there as Gilmer and Fannin go at it.
Dale's the one that, as we were emailing back and forth about the tournament and who we were going to work with and what games we were going to call and so forth, I think Dale's the one that came up with the idea of the Hawaiian shirts. So nice little holiday theme here, See if he abides by his own memo. Dale usually dresses up with a tie on.
He does,
sharp,
Oh, Davis hit the ground hard. The putback is there. And Tim's now with back-to-back buckets, but Davis is still down on the floor along that baseline. He landed hard, may have knocked the wind out of him. He seemed to be grabbing his
left
elbow there a little bit. There's just some incidental contact. Guys, kind of their momentum carrying them out of bounds, scared them to the ground. And 46.9 left here in this contest. As the gym gets a little quiet here, again, want to thank all of the folks. And want to encourage folks, that are watching at home right now as Sam's back up and off on his own power. But I want to encourage folks to come out to the gym. It's a great atmosphere. I know we enjoy watching at home, and obviously a lot of folks, of course, will be off next week, this, that, and the other with Thanksgiving coming up. But I want to encourage you, if you can, either Monday or Tuesday, come on out to the gym if you can after work or what have you, and enjoy some high school basketball up close and in person, because there's really nothing like it when you get everyone in here. And it's just a great atmosphere, this tourney, every year. I want to encourage folks to get out to the game if you can. If not, certainly watch it on TV, and we appreciate you tuning in. Oh, there's a block there. That was Blake Gorth, the 6'3 freshman, the only freshman dressed out here according to our rosters for either team. And so Gorth getting some action for Coach Steinhauer in the Dragons. Huffman lays it up high off the glass. The follow wouldn't go for the freshman. He nearly had a bucket.
Yeah, great tournament environment. We talk about it, whether it's at Fannin or at Gilmer, either one hosting the tournament. Great host and good 3 days of high school basketball. Can't beat it.
58-35 going to be the score here tonight as the Pickens Dragons win game 1 of the tournament here against the Fannin Rebels. 58-35, your final score. Thank you for watching this matchup right here. The Dragons again will return to action on Monday afternoon as they take on Copper Basin, and the Rebels will try to rebound against the Gilmer Bobcats on Monday night here at the Cage. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, check presentations for the Lady Cats and Lady Cougars and much more as part of our in-between game coverage right here on ETC3. You're watching the 2014 ETC Piedmont Mountainside Tip-Off Tourney. Randy, we'll see you on Monday.
We'll do it. Look forward to it.
Sounds good. We'll take a timeout and be right back. Stay with us.